Hi, Jill. Hi to everyone there. My name's Lyndall Brown and I am going to be doing a cooking experience for you today. So Jill's just connecting her audio, so hopefully she can hear me. But if anyone's there that needs me to stop or slow down or ask any questions, then please feel free to pop them in the chat box there. But if you write in the chat box where you're from, and what your name was, if you've not already got it on the screen, which some of you have, but that would be really great to hear. So today I am going to cook sorry, I'm just adjusting my camera angle there. I'm going to be cooking the chicken teriyaki, which is a really quick dish. So I'm going to be doing that today. Hi, Jill. Okay, so chicken teriyaki. I'll do a little bit of a spiel quickly on the Thermomix. So I'm just going to share my screen very quickly. Just go to here. All right. Back up the top. All righty. Jill, just yell out if you can't see anything. See my screen there. Okay, hi Jill. All right, so what's included in the price of a Thermomix? So everything that you need to get started is included in the price, which of course is $2,359. We have plenty of payment options to suit everyone. I won't touch too much on those, but if you do have any questions about them, I'll touch on them again at the end and just go into a little bit more detail, but yell out if you have any questions about that. But all of the accessories that you need to get started with your Thermomix come with it. So everything that's on the screen there, the varoma, which is the steaming part that goes on the top, as well as the spatula, the simmering basket, all of those things, and everything that you see me using today will come with the Thermomix. So there's no need to buy any extras. There's no hidden costs. It is just what it is. Sorry, I'm still just trying to adjust that camera angle there. All right, so that's what's included in your Thermomix. Everything that the Thermomix can do is up there on the screen. So all of those functions, all of those cooking instructions, everything that you need to do, everything you can do in the Thermomix is there on the screen. So if you if you had any questions about any of that, please go for it. But it is a great little diagram of everything that is included in the Thermomix, all the separate parts and how it comes together. But all of those things on there, that is what it can do. The other thing is when you do buy a Thermomix, we don't just leave you. We don't just give you an appliance and say, go, have fun. We like to make sure that you guys are all set up. We come and do a delivery demo, we set you up, we get you sorted with all the safety instructions, and we do a first cook with you so that you have everything that you need to get started and so that you can use your Thermomix to the best of its ability. We don't like people to just buy a Thermomix and then have to go off and try and work it out themselves, because we know that they're not going to get the most out of their machine. So we're here for the ride. So it's important when you pick a consultant that you feel comfortable with them, because we'll be there for you. Any questions, anything that you have, you know, I always get questions at dinner time. What am I doing wrong? Or what's this or what's that? And I really love to answer those questions. So if you did have any questions, please yell out and come off mute, or you can pop them in the chat and I'll try and keep an eye on the chat as well as clicking at the long time. But yeah, when you buy a Thermomix, you get the consultant with it, and we come and help, and you can do that virtually. Obviously, in the world that we've been living in at the moment, everything is done virtually. We do have a little bit of freedom down on the South Coast at the moment, so that means that we can go into people's homes if they prefer that, but we can also support you online. So we also like to check in with you, make sure that you're using it. We love to hear what you're cooking. We love to get inspired by our customers and our customers by us. So we do hold things like cooking classes. We've done 4 or 5 of them virtually this month. Just for this month even, we do them every month, but we'd like to do some face-to-face ones as well. But if you are joining us from anywhere in Australia, then we can assist you. So just while we cook, I'm going to stop sharing. Now, if you guys can see what I'm doing there, hopefully you can see my screen. If you're just joining us, I've just quickly touched on the price of the Thermomix, which is $2,359, but we have lots of payment options, and I'll talk about that at the end. We also have a few deals and things happening this month, which I'll also touch on, but what we'll do is we'll start cooking. So we're going to cook the teriyaki chicken tonight. So it is a super quick, super easy meal. And the reason that we're doing this today is because it actually highlights some of the features from the TM6 that the TM5 doesn't have. So if you did have a TM5 and you were looking for an upgrade, or you wanted to know what the difference was, then I'll show you a little bit about that today. Some TM5 owners do have a cook key, which means that they have the best technology for the TM5, and that means that they can access cookie dough recipes. So that's really handy for those customers. It is a little bit different to how we cook with the TM6. The cook key itself is more like I guess it's kind of like a USB that you can connect to the side of the TM5, which means that you can get access to those recipes, but you have to use your app on your phone to plug it into Today, to save that recipe, to make sure that it's going to come up on your TM5 screen. With the TM6, you can type any of those cookie dough recipes in to the machine when we swipe to the right here, so you can see that on my screen. This is the cookie dough platform. Now, if you don't know anything about cookie dough at all, I recommend jumping onto an app on your phone, or even just jumping onto the website, which is cookiedoo.com.au, and downloading the app or jumping online. You can get a 30-day free trial. So there's nothing, it doesn't cost you to download the app. The app is free to download. You do pay a subscription after that 30 days, unless you buy a TM6, then you're going to get a 6-month free subscription just to trial it out, see what you think. But the difference between the TM6 and the TM5 is that you have access to all of those recipes. Now, there's about just under 9,000 English written recipes to choose from breakfast, lunch, dinners, snacks, sweets, all of those things. There is so many things that you can cook. So on this screen here, I can literally search any recipe. I could also search any ingredients. So say I had chicken breast in the fridge and I needed to use it up. I can type into my search bar, wants to keep up with me today. Anyone who is from the South Coast will know what our internet service is like. There we go. So I'm just going to type in, I'll just type in chicken and we'll see what comes up. So there's 1,000 recipes there, right? So just with chicken, or just that say chicken, right? So any of those recipes are there, and you can select any of them and start cooking, okay? You can also scroll through and have a look at the ingredients that are there, which are down the left-hand side of the screen. I know you can't see it very clearly, but it sort of gives you a bit of an idea. All of those ingredients there, so you can see what ingredients you have and start cooking if you wish. So all of those recipes are available on the screen, which is super exciting and just unleashes a lot of possibilities. Obviously, you can get them on your app as well. So I quite often sit at night and scroll through my phone and pick my recipes and meal plan for the week and get all that sorted. And every interface of Cookie Dough is the same. So you log onto the website, it'll look the exact same as it does when you log onto your cookie dough on your Thermomix or onto the app on your phone as well. It's always the same. All right, so the other thing that we have that differs from the TM5 to the TM6 is when we swipe to this side of our screen, we unleash all of these modes. Now, anyone that does have a TM5 will know that they have the scales, they have dough mode, and if you have turbo as well. Okay, so for chopping nuts and things like that. If you had the cook key, you will also have the pre-clean mode because that will update your machine to the latest software. If you don't have the cook key, and currently at the moment they're not available on the mix shop in Australia, then you might not have that current update, so your TM5 might not be up to the highest software that you can download. But the difference is on the TM6 we have a whole bunch more modes. Okay, so you get 3 modes inbuilt on your TM5. On the TM6 you get 13. And the exciting thing is every time that you update your TM6. So all you do is you turn your machine on and it might ask for a software update, so similar to what your phone would. You select update, it might take 5 to 10 minutes, but quite regularly we are getting more modes added. So this one kitchen appliance can do all of these things, and this is just in manual cooking. Okay, this is not in guided cooking. In guided cooking you get a little bit of extra stuff as well, but this is just if you were doing manual cooking and doing things for yourself. All of these modes have an information button on them and they can tell you exactly what you can do with them. Things like thicken mode, so you can make custards and sauces and things like that. Kettle mode, you can take your you can get rid of your kettle. If you have a small kitchen and you need to get rid of some of the appliances, absolutely you can do that. The rice cooker mode, once again, see you later rice cooker. We're going to cook our rice in the Thermomix. So all of those things are available on the TM6. That is the major differences between the TM5 and the TM6. Obviously, you can see you've got a bigger screen on the TM5 as well, sorry, on the TM6 versus on the TM5. But it's definitely the technology has improved so much, and it's so exciting. You have everything that you need on the TM6. There's no extra bits that you have to add on. There's no redoing the USB port every time you have to log on and refresh your cook key. We don't have to do that anymore. Okay, it's almost instant. If I added something from my app now and said I wanted to cook it today, it'll be in there and it's already saved it. It's connected to the Wi-Fi. It is super smart technology, definitely smarter than I am. So I won't try to explain how it works because I have no idea. I just trust it and it's amazing. Okay, so the other thing that's different between the TM5 and the TM6, which I'm going to highlight in what we're cooking today, when we're using guided cooking, we also have access to high heat mode. So things like stir fries, even just browning meat, getting that extra flavour through those vegetables by caramelising onions, we can do that on the TM6. It goes a lot hotter than the TM5 did, so we can also use sugar mode, which means that we can make things like toffees and lollipops and caramel sauces and things like honeycomb. Now, this is really quite incredible because these things are such finicky things to be able to do, and on the TM6 it makes it child's play. I honestly have trusted my 2-year-old with the Thermomix. He makes his own almond butter. So it's amazing, but I will just, rather than me chatting away all day, what I'll do is I'll get into cooking for you and we'll start cooking. Hopefully everyone can see both screens. If you're on a phone, if you swipe to one side, you should be able to see both screens because I've got the screen down the bottom and so you can see what I'm doing at the top. So what I'm going to do is go to my week because I have planned this recipe into my week. Okay, so I literally just go there, click on chicken teriyaki and click start cooking. What I'm going to do actually, that one. Sorry, don't mind me. I'm just fiddling now. Okay. There we go. Start cooking. All right. So my first ingredient that it's asking for is 10 grams of olive oil. Once again, it's a little bit hard to see on that angle there. I wonder if I have this light on, whether that will help. Does that help a little bit? That might help a little bit. There we go. So 10 grams of olive oil. Now, I just start pouring. My Thermomix is weighing for me. Can you see that on the left-hand side where it's counting up? It's a little bit over, but that's okay. Then next, it's asking for 250 grams of skinless, boneless chicken thighs cut into thin strips, okay? So, you know, you could buy, if you wanted to, you can buy the stir-fry already cut up chicken, but it didn't take me long to cut up this chicken. Now, it's only asking for 250 grams, which is all I'm going to use. That doesn't seem like a lot of chicken, but there's a lot of veggies in this dish, and I promise that it does go quite far. This is also a great meal because it's super budget friendly. Okay, so you think 250 grams of chicken thigh, it's pretty much one chicken thigh. All right, so then what I'm going to do, put my lid on, and it's going to ask for my splash guard. If you have a TM5, you might not have seen this before. This is specifically for the high heat mode, and it comes exclusively with the TM6. So that's going to sit on top there, press done. And this symbol here is the high heat symbol. So everything in guided cooking means that it's all there on the screen. It's set up for me. I literally don't have to think. All I have to do is turn this knob here, and it's going to cook for 5 minutes at the temperature that it needs to cook at and at the setting that it needs to be. So while that's doing that, because we don't want to sit here and watch the Thermomix just cook for 5 minutes, in a minute you'll start to hear the chicken sear off and make some searing noises, sort of some spattering noises, like it would if it was on a saucepan or a fry pan on the stove. Okay, so we don't have to stand at the stove. I now have 5 minutes where I can run around, clean the kitchen, or empty the fridge, empty the groceries, put the kid in the bath, whatever I need to do. That 5 minutes is mine. Today, I'm going to share that 5 minutes with you guys, and I'm going to show you some of what we have on offer this month. Okay, this one. Okay, so this month we have 2 choices for you. So tomorrow is the last day of the month. So if you would like our barbecue bundle, which includes a meter, which is a wireless meat thermometer, which I just have here. Now, if you are someone who loves to cook meat, or you know your husband likes a medium rare steak, or you always overcook your chicken, or if you avoid fish because you are scared to overcook it, that was something that I always did. I never cooked with fish because I was like, oh, there is way too much room for error with that. The Meter Plus is your best friend. This is like the Thermomix for meat thermometers. It's worth $200, and it connects wirelessly to your app on your phone, and it will tell you how long to cook the meat for. Say you're cooking a medium rare steak. You could have that on your stovetop, you could have it in your oven, you could have it in the barbecue, right? But you insert the wireless probe into your piece of steak, into the chunkiest part of the steak, and select medium rare, the cut of meat that you're using, and then press start cooking. It'll tell you how long to cook it for, and then how long to rest it for, which is another thing. Meat needs a lot of resting, and we never ever do that because we don't know how long it's meant to be rested for. I'm not a chef. I don't know. So my meter tells me for me, tells it to me for me. It's amazing. So there's that, plus some barbecue skewers, which are also a really great product too. They have a little, you can probably see on the end, there's like a little lever on the end. It means that you can push the meat or the vegetables, if you're a vegetarian, off onto your plate without ending up hitting the person next to you with the capsicum that's just come off your kebab. All right, because we've all done that. So there's that, but also it comes with the barbecue cookbook. Now we are going into that time where hopefully, depending on where we are, we'll be celebrating outside with family and friends. So this is a really great bundle to get your hands on. If you would like that bundle, I cannot stress to you enough, you need to do that tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay, so you can add that to your TM6 purchase for $49. Okay, so it is over $219, over $300 worth of value, or almost $300 worth of value. You're saving $219 on that bundle if you purchase Thermomix this month with that bundle. The other thing that I have available, because who doesn't like choice, is the Meals in a Flash cookbook and a kitchen toolkit. So if you don't want to stretch the budget a little bit more and add that $49 bundle on, you can get your Meals in a Flash and your kitchen toolkit, which used to be consultant exclusive. We are now offering them to customers, and they are a great toolkit. They've got everything in there that you need: 3 knives, a vegetable peeler, as well as a fruit scoop, or you can, I mean, I call it an ice cream scoop. It's meant to be a fruit scoop, and some kitchen shears. They are brilliant products, and you get those for free with the purchase of a Thermomix this month, if that is the bundle that you choose. The other exciting thing that we have on offer this month, if you were to join our team, or a Thermomix team in general, because there is lots of payment options for a TM6. One of them is to earn them. And earn it. So you can come on board, and if you sell 6 machines in the first 60 days, then you get your Thermomix for free. How cool is that? If you come on board and you sell 3 machines in your first 60 days, you get a discounted price on your Thermomix. You're not paying full price. Okay, so that's a really great thing to do. If you were to jump on board as a Thermomix consultant this month, then you could actually get your hands on the Something Incredible cookbook, as well as the business kit, which has everything on the screen there available to you this month as well. So if that's something that you would be keen on, or if you're interested in hearing any more of that, about that, please pop in the chat and I would love to chat to you about that. I have plenty of information. So that chime there, that is the chime when the Thermomix is done with that stage of cooking. So I'm going to press next. Now, it wants me to use tongs and transfer chicken into a thermal serving bowl or large bowl, retaining any cooking juices in the mixing bowl and cover to keep warm. So what I have to do with that is my thermoserver. Now, the thermoservers are an exclusive Thermomix product. The only way you can get your hands on a thermoserver is to hold a cooking experience and to introduce this to some of your friends, and you can earn this as a host reward. If your friends love the Thermomix and purchase a Thermomix, you get a thermoserver for free. Now, these are amazing. They're double walled, stainless steel. They can go in the dishwasher. I usually put my food in it, and it stays hot and edible for about 2 hours. But after that, I just whack it in the fridge, and it's my storage container as well. They're a really incredible product. They're very handy when you have a Thermomix. So say I was going to cook some rice first, I could put some rice in here, keep that warm while I'm doing this step too. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use to put my chicken in. So I'm just going to grab some tongs out. That is my chicken thigh cooked. Okay, and I haven't had to touch it. It's done it itself. So I'm going to pull those out. And you can see how the Thermomix gives you very distinct instructions and very specific instructions about what to do. So it wants the juices from the chicken left in the bowl, and it'll tell you to do that. There's very little room for error when you own a Thermomix. So if you're not a confident cook, or you've got children and you're always distracted at meal times, the Thermomix is definitely your best friend. Say we got to this step and something went wrong. The baby needs to be bathed or changed, or your husband's got home from work and you need to have a chat with him. He's had a bad day, whatever it is. You might step away from the Thermomix at this point. After 15 minutes, it will turn off and stay where it is. So you can come back to it, turn the machine back on, and it will ask you if you would like to resume your recipe. Okay, and you're at a certain step where, yes, you do want to. So you press yes, it'll take you exactly back to where you were. So there's no room for error. You're not going to miss anything. You don't have to look through the cookbook and work out where you were at. Or if you were like me and you used to Google recipes, you have to look at your phone, go into it, and then someone sends you a message, you get out of it. It's, it's pain in the bum. So this is really handy. It's like a bookmark when it turns off. All right. Now, it would like me to scrape the mixing bowl well with the spatula to loosen any caramelization. So that's what I'm going to do with my spatula here, my Thermomix spatula. Once again, the spatula is slightly different from the TM5 to the TM6. This is a great spatula. So definitely another upside of the TM6. Okay, so I'm just going to scrape the bottom of the bowl, make sure I've loosened everything up, and press next. What it wants now is 30 grams of echalotts. You can use an onion. I did happen to have an echalot. They're great in risottos. They're great in stir fries because they've just got a milder flavour than an onion. But I actually had some there, so that was great. Otherwise, yeah, I was planning on using just a plain brown onion. All right, 100 grams of red capsicum, de-seeded and cut into pieces, which I've got here. Once again, the Thermomix is weighing it for me as I pop it in, and you can see it counting up there. 50 grams of carrots cut into matchsticks. So they're done as well. That was about half a carrot. And 30 grams of snow peas trimmed. So those are in there as well. And 120 grams of broccoli. Now, I didn't have broccoli, but I had broccolini, which actually, you know, works well with this dish anyway. So that's what we're going to pop in there. And it's a little bit over. You do have room for a little bit of movement. You don't want to go too much. You don't want to overfill the bowl, but there is a little bit of room for movement and adjustment in those recipes. 20 grams of olive oil. Is there any questions so far? Just yell out, or you can pop them in the chat. That's fine too. All right, so it's asking me for the splash guard again. Let's get my handy splash guard going on. Press done. Turn it around. We've got another 5 minutes. So, one of the great things about this recipe is how quick it is. Okay, so it's an incredibly quick recipe. You can get dinner on the table in about 20 minutes. If you had rice to do, obviously that would take a little bit longer, but the other thing that you can do, and what my husband really likes, is, you know, just some pre-made noodles, and you can just pre-soak those while you're cooking, and mix them all together. That's really tasty too. If you were looking for a low carb diet, obviously you don't want to add rice, anything like that to it. I mean, you could add cauliflower rice, although I do think that that can be a little bit, you can have a little bit too much cauliflower if you are doing a low carb diet, I believe. But cauliflower rice would work as well, or you can just eat it by itself. This recipe is gluten-free, so it's calling afterwards for gluten-free corn flour as well as tamari instead of soy sauce. I actually don't have tamari. I have soy sauce, and we're not gluten intolerant in this house, so I'll stick with the normal soy sauce. But it's a really great healthy dish, and it's nice and fresh. Plenty of veggies, as you saw when I just popped them in there, and some nice fresh chicken, which was only 250 grams. So once again, it's not stretching the budget. It's a great family meal, and super quick. So did anyone have any questions? If not, I'll keep chatting because I can talk underwater, as my husband would say. All right. So I'm just going to share my screen again, and we'll just go back here. Share. Okay, so just talking about host rewards as we were before. When you book a cooking experience, now if you would like to see the Thermomix a bit more up and close and personal, or if you would like to see a specific dish, then please let your consultant know, or stay on and have a chat to me afterwards. We can organise a cooking experience for you. You can see the Thermomix in something that you would like to cook. Say you'd love to see a risotto or something like that, then we'd love to show you. And we can show you virtually, or as I said, in different parts of Australia, we can actually show you face to face. Which means that you get to eat the food. It's not me just cooking myself dinner. So that's always really handy. In the Host Rewards catalogue, there is things like thermoservers, which is what we have here, the round thermoserver, there's the oval thermoserver. There's also the yogurt thermoserver, which is just there, the white one. That means that you can ferment yogurt in the top of your machine in the Varoma, but in a pot set way, so you're using your white thermoserver for that. It fits perfectly into the Varoma. We're not using the Varoma today. Once again, if you would like to book a cooking experience, we can show you something where you use multi-layers of cooking, and you can cook things in the Thermomix, as well as cook things on the top in the Varoma. Super handy just to bulk it out with some extra steamed vegetables, or you can even hard boil eggs in the top while you're cooking something else. So you could have dinner cooking and lunch prep sorted for the next day as well. Super handy. And as well as the bread mats. Now the bread mats are really great. You might not be into cooking your own bread. Once you get a Thermomix, it's definitely going to be something you try, because it is so easy. It's so great. And I do it regularly. So a bread mat is super handy for that. Okay, now that, if I go back into this one here. All right, so quickly now, because I've got about a minute left and we can come back to this, there is several payment options for the TM6, okay? Obviously, the quickest way is the one-off payment. You can pay by credit card, you can pay by PayPal or direct deposit. There's lots of different ways you can pay a one-off payment, but you can pay like that. The other ways are, obviously, as I said before, you could earn your TM6. And don't sell yourself out on that, because a lot of people thought, oh, it might not be for me, or, I don't have the time. But you can literally be doing things like cooking yourself dinner and showing people the Thermomix. That's all it is. You show the Thermomix, you sell the Thermomix, because they are an amazing machine. So don't write yourself out of being a consultant. It's definitely an option for everyone. As well as payment plans that we have. So we have Zip Money, which is broken down into weekly payments, or you can actually customize it to yourself. If you get paid monthly, you can change it to monthly. If you get paid fortnightly, you can change it to fortnightly, but 24 months interest free with Zip Finance, and it comes down to 25.
Can anyone else hear Lyndall? I think she's just lost internet connection. She's just trying to fix and will come back on.
There we are. Okay, guys, can you hear me there?
Can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I apologise, my internet turned to custard. So let's see what I can do here. All right. Thank you for hanging in there. All right. Okay. All right, look, let's keep going. Now, of course, because my internet died, that means my Thermomix has not wanted to continue with the recipe, but that's okay. It actually says, do I want to resume my recipe? I do. So you guys can still hear me. I know you can't see down here. This one's not working now for some reason. So let's see. So we might just have to go with what you can see here. I'll just put this on. Okay. Alrighty. So I'll bring that down a little bit. So we're going to transfer the vegetables into my mixing bowl here. My thermoserver there. So those are all cooked. Straight in. Okay. Straight in there. Okay, so I'm going to scrape down the bottom of the bowl just to make sure I've got all of that caramelisation off. There is a little bit of caramelisation on the bottom of your bowl. That's great for some extra flavour. All right, so it doesn't want me to clean my mixing bowl. So what I'm going to do is I've actually replaced one of my, sorry, I know you can't see my face, but you can see the Thermomix. So my husband doesn't like ginger, so I'm going to use chili today. So if you are a chili fan, you can definitely do that. And it's a little bit over 10 grams because I wasn't going to waste some chili. So 1 chili instead of ginger and 10 grams of garlic cloves. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I like a little bit of extra garlic. So that's what I've popped in there as well. All right, I'm going to pop my lid on and the measuring cup in there. Next, and we're going to chop that up. So 8 seconds, speed 7. All right, so I'm going to scrape down the side with my spatula, but I'd just like to show you there just how well that chops up. Okay, so, you know, if you were thinking, you know, that you had to grate your ginger or stand there and chop it up into fine pieces, you don't have to do that anymore. If you really enjoy chopping onions, I don't know if anyone really enjoys chopping onions, but you don't have to do that anymore with a Thermomix. One of the best things ever. All right, so we're going to add 70 grams of what could be tamari or what could be soy sauce. So we're going for soy sauce today. 70 grams. There we go. And 30 grams of honey. Right in, so no spoons to be using to make more rubbish of your kitchen. You don't have to do that. You literally just pop it straight in the bowl. I've then got 2 teaspoons of corn flour or gluten-free corn flour. If you are gluten-free, obviously you want to check that. And 2 teaspoons of water. Okay. Next, I'm going to pop the lid on. And we're going to cook it for 3 minutes. So while that's doing its thing, show you the chicken and the vegetables that I have in there. So nice and bright and fresh. It hasn't cooked it for too long like a stir fry shouldn't, so that the vegetables have still got just that little bit of al dente taste to them, not too cooked, not too mushy, so you can still taste the freshness and you haven't cooked all the nutrients out of the veggies. So you can see that's quite a fair bit of food there. That's definitely going to serve at least 4 people. I know in our house it'll do a dinner for me and my husband and then 2 serves of lunch the next day. So that's really handy. And as I said, we usually have it with, either rice or noodles, but you could definitely have it by itself. It just might not go quite as far, but that's definitely plenty there. So if there was any questions about the deals and things that we have happening this month, whack them in the chat. I'd love to give you a hand with that and let you know about any of the things that we have happening. Oh, the other thing that we do have happening next month, if you do hold a demo, if you invite some friends and have a Thermomix demonstration, then we actually have a special host reward for the month of October, and you could earn yourself a Kobold mini vac. So Kobold is a they actually make vacuums. And this one is the mini one. You can see that's sort of how big it is. I actually don't have it in here because the second that I earned my Kobold mini vac, my husband took it and put it in our camper. But it's a really handy little vacuum. So they are miles ahead of their time in the vacuum world. If you actually go into a Godfrey's, they'll tell you that Vorwerk Kobold vacuums are definitely a superior product. I have been told that they're better than the Dyson. I don't have an upright one yet, but that's coming. So these are worth $300. If you host a cooking experience in October and you have 2 guests along, you can get one of these babies for $149. That's just for hosting. That's just having some friends over or hosting a virtual demo. It definitely counts for a virtual demo as well. And you could bring a couple of friends along and be eligible to get one of these for half price, so $149. If someone buys from your demo, then you can get a little mini pack for $49. So you're getting $250 off. So that's a really great deal that we have coming in October. So if you were interested in that, get in touch with your consultant, or as I said, you can definitely contact me or stay on after the cooking experience and have a chat. All right, so I'm going to pop the sauce, which is already cooked. You can see it's got like a nice thick texture to it with that corn flour. So I don't know if you guys can get takeaway in 15 minutes. You might be able to order it in 15 minutes. I don't know whether you'll be able to get it delivered or pick it up in 15 minutes. But this is a great dish for a Friday night. Friday night fakeaway. It you won't miss your local Chinese, I can tell you, or teriyaki is Japanese, I think, anyway. But you know, your local Asian, you won't miss it. Cooking everything from scratch, it means you know that what ingredients are in it. If you guys are allergy conscious, or you know, you're just worried about MSG, things like that, that could be in takeaway, then once again, the Thermomix takes away that issue for you. I know I like to know what's in our food, especially since I've got a little one with food allergies. It's definitely handy to know what is going into his mouth. So that's always really good. All right, I've just about got all that sauce there now. And I'm going to scrape it off my lid as well because I don't want to lose any of it. Okay, then I'm going to stir it through here. Stir it through to combine. And we're going to sprinkle it with some sesame seeds and serve it. So you can also put coriander leaves on top as well. Whatever your tastes are, obviously, you know, coriander is a taste that's not for everyone. And it might not be for everyone in your family, so you can put it on at the end. So that is our teriyaki chicken there. It's super handy. I'm going to pop the lid on and we can have that for dinner in a little while. But that's there. Now, what I'm going to do now, because you can see that bowl's nice and sticky. It's got a lot of stuff in it. It's Carmen's favourite dish. There you go. What we're going to do now, and this might be a difference from the TM5 to the TM6 as well. I'm just going to pop a litre of water in there. So just to over my litre mark. Pop this back on. I'm going to put a little bit of dishwashing liquid, just a touch. And then I'm going to put my lid back on. And we're going to swipe to the side and we're going to use pre-clean mode. So this is one of the extra modes that you do get with the TM6 that you don't get with the TM5. Even if you had the latest version of the TM5 with your cook key, it does have a pre-clean option. But I just had a customer upgrade from a TM5 to a TM6 and she said, oh my goodness, it doesn't compare. The TM5 pre-clean, she's like, oh, it didn't work, I didn't use it. But the TM6 one, she's like, I almost don't have to clean the bowl. It's perfect. So there's different options of the pre-clean. There's 4 different modes. So say you've got something that's particularly sticky or dirty, you can up the mode and use like the browning mode, and it could clean for 15 to 20 minutes. But once again, it means that you're not scrubbing the pot. So more time for you and less time slaving away in the kitchen. So I'm just going to pop it on universal because it's not super dirty, but that's just going to clean away for me. And it will determine how dirty it is. Once again, the Thermomix is a very smart machine, and somehow it just knows what to do. So it's going to clean for as long as it needs to. It might heat the water up if it feels like it needs to do that. And all we'll need to do is give it a quick rinse and a bit of a scrub with the scrubbing brush, and make sure that we've got everything up the sides and over the side. And that's it, it's done. So dinner's cooked. We've been here for 47 minutes thanks to my internet dying, and me rabbiting on a little bit. So thank you for listening. But if there's any questions or you have any queries, or if there's anything different that you'd like to hear about the differences between the TM5 and the TM6, please let me know, because I would love to help you out with that. But yeah, if you'd like that barbecue kit, now is the time. The meter is a really great addition to your kitchen, as well as the Thermomix. So that's definitely something to consider. But thank you for joining me. I won't make you sit around for 7 minutes and wait for the bowl to clean. You'll have to trust me that it works, because it does. But yeah, give me a yell if you need anything, or feel free to stay on if you have any other questions. Thanks, Carmen.